The story of how my parents met. Well, I guess I'll begin with my mother's side. So, a big part of her life was growing up on the East Coast.
It was 1991, and I was living in Vermont, and I was taking a course at a college in Vermont, Johnston State College, and at the end of the semester, the teacher told me that he and a botanist were taking a group of students to Costa Rica, and that one of the students had canceled and there was room, and if I was interested in going, I could go. So I told him I would like to do that. And so I went to the travel agent and I got a ticket to go to Costa Rica, and that's what I was going to do. And then I went home and I got a call from the travel agent, and she said that she had made a mistake with the tickets and it was going to cost $500 more for me to make the connections and make this work. And so I couldn't do that. That was more than I could afford. So I went back to her, and she canceled the tickets. And I said, well, I have this time to travel, so how much would it cost to go to Montana? I have friends there that I haven't seen in 14 years, and I have always wanted to go back and visit them. So I bought a ticket to go to Montana. And then I went home and I called my friends in Montana and I said, I bought a ticket to come and visit you. Is that okay? And they said, yes, come, but we are going to be gone on the weekend. And if you want to, you can use our truck and do what you want on the weekend. So I had decided I was going to go to Yellowstone. I was going to drive their truck to Yellowstone.
She had some friends there in Montana, and she was looking to go to Yellowstone National Park.
As we were visiting and talking, my friend said, I have a friend in Oregon, and I think you and he should meet each other. What do you think about driving to Oregon to a llama farm and meeting this person?
They said, oh, you know what you should do instead is go visit our friend, Rasmussen, who lives on a llama farm in eastern Oregon.
So I said, oh, well, I'll have to think about that. It was a 12-hour drive, which is not that unusual in the West, but it was a big deal to me. So I decided to do it. So the first time I talked to Raz was at my friend's house, and he was going to give me directions to get there.
Well, one day I got a call from an old friend who lives in Montana who said, I've got a friend here that wants to come visit or something to that effect. And so we arranged for her to come, and I gave her directions over the phone, and I told her, she's about a 12-hour drive from Helena, so I said, you take this road to Missoula, and then you go over Lola Pass, and then you go down about 4 hours, and you come to a stop sign, and you turn left.
What I thought was really funny about that was that he said, basically, you get on this road out of Helena, Montana, and you head west, and you drive for, 9 hours, and you come to a stop sign, and you take a right.
There's some funny story about, well, you go down this road, you drive, and you're going to come to a stop sign, and then you're going to take a right or a left, and then you'll come to the farm or something like that. And so she didn't really know who this person was, except that he had a llama farm, and he was in this little town called Halfway, Oregon. So essentially it was a blind date. So she took this little yellow truck and drove from Montana to eastern Oregon.
And it took her about 2 days to get there, but she got there. And of course I wanted to make a good impression, so I was cleaning up the house right before she came, and I cleaned the glass plate in the microwave and put it back in, and right before she came, it spontaneously busted. It just flew apart into 1,000 pieces, without being on or touching it, anything. Just knew she was coming, I guess. So I think she'd maybe come to the west door at first, but I didn't hear her, and then she came walking around to the east door, and that's when I saw her right through the window.
I think I knocked on the door on the west side of the house, and no one was there, so I walked around the house to the east side, and I saw him, and he was sitting in a rocking chair, and he was brushing his teeth. And then I knocked on the door, and yeah, that was pretty amazing, and saw him for the first time.
we went for a walk, and we went to a play that they're having at the school that night, and we went dancing. I think probably the last time we've been dancing. But anyways, over the next 3 or 4 days, we came up with this plan that she'd come back in June.
We decided after that weekend that I would come back and spend the summer there on the llama farm and see if what we thought was a potential relationship would actually work out.
So we decided, well, we didn't know if we'd be able to live together, how it would work out, but we thought we'd give it a try. And so she came back to Prudence, and Betsy had to say, I've got to question you, this movement, because this is the time you wouldn't know about this, but there was a mystic called the Bhagwan that was buying up large, vast quantities of land in eastern Oregon in a place called Antelope. And Betsy thought, what's my sister getting mixed up in?
It was kind of difficult to go home and tell my family that I was going to be leaving and moving out to Oregon.
Her sister was very, I think, nervous about it, and she thought she was going to like a cult situation or some weird thing like that.
But I did, and I drove cross country and moved into the llama farm, and things went really well. And so I've been there for 26 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where the story ends, is they fell in love on a blind date from Montana, from the East Coast to Montana to I don't know how anyone ends up in halfway, but however they end up in halfway, something always happens when you go to halfway. So, yeah, that's all I know.